this is why I was never good at book reports. What's up everybody, it's Kate and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be telling you about a book series that I have fallen in love with and am obsessed with reading. It's called A Twisted Tale, and it is a series of Disney books where they take Disney movies and put a what if to it. Those are my favorite kind of books because I like thinking, well, what if this happened, or what if this didn't happen? So let's get on into it. There are 3 authors to this book series. The main one is Liz Braswell. The second one is Jen Kalonita, or Kalonita. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong somehow. And then Elizabeth Lim is the 3rd author within this series. There are 10 books in total, and the 11th book is due out in April. And as of the day of filming, the newest book came out yesterday, and I will be receiving it tomorrow. So keep in mind, I haven't read that book yet. And with these books, there's no need to read them in order. They don't have a chronological order to them. They're all just one book for one film. I read them all out of order. I didn't even go in order in some way, shape, or form. I finished with the first book. I started with the 3rd and I finished with the 1st. So that's what I got. So the first book is A Whole New World. Now, this book is written by Liz Braswell and it was published in 2015. It is basically what if Aladdin never found the magic lamp. This one wasn't really my favorite, to be honest. It was actually really dark, really twisted, but yeah. This one didn't really keep my attention as well. If I had read this one first, I wouldn't have read the other books, to be honest. Basically, Jafar grabs a hold of the lamp and he makes his first 2 wishes, which is obviously to be sorcerer and, well, sultan and then sorcerer. So that's normal, but then you have Jasmine fleeing the palace because Jafar obviously wants to marry her, and she bumps into Aladdin. They run into his friends, and they all have to try and stop Jafar from making any more bad decisions for Agrabah. So this one was the first book. I have friends that like it. I didn't like it. But it was definitely a very good, dark story. And this is how big the script is in the book. So these are very easy, very fast reads. They are for probably the older ages, like maybe 13 and up. And they're great adult books too, if you love this kind of stuff. So this one was A Whole New World. So the next book is called Once Upon a Dream, and yes, it is based off of Sleeping Beauty. This one was also written in, this one was written in 2016 and also by Liz Braswell. It is what if Sleeping Beauty never woke up. And pretty much the prince kisses her and she doesn't wake up. He then goes into the dream world where Maleficent has controlled Aurora, made her parents out to be evil, evil people, banished the prince from the castle area, and she is not allowed out of the castle area for fear of finding out what's really going on. She eventually escapes, and then she figures out what is going on, and her memory comes back of what is real, what's a dream, and you'll have to read the rest of the book to find out. This one I actually really liked. It took me a few days, like 1 or 2 days. These books are really easy reads. I could read them in 24 hours. Read half one day, half another, so total 24 hours. But yes, this is Once Upon a Dream. This next book was my first book. This one was one of my favorites out of the 10, and this is as old as time. And yes, it is the tale of Beauty and the Beast. In this one, it's what if Belle's mother was the enchantress? Well, what if Belle's mother cursed the beast? Yeah. But basically, Belle's mother is the enchantress that puts the spell on him in the first book. In the beginning of the movie. And they have to go and try and figure out how her mother is still alive, or if she even is alive, and she gets all of these flashbacks from touching the enchanted rose that is in the West Wing. So it's basically like the movie, but has different twists and turns. It's like, for me, it was like reading the live action. So there's that, and I really, really love this one. This is Reflection, and this one is by Elizabeth Lim. This one came out in 2018, and it's what if Mulan had to travel to the underworld. Basically, the same story happens up until they are battling the Huns. Is it the Huns? I think it's the Huns. Yeah, I think it's the Huns, if I remember right. And they are in the mountains, and Mulan shoots the firework that hits the avalanche, or causes the avalanche to come down and get everybody and kill the Huns. And plot list, Shan Yu is alive still. Well, he was alive in the other movie. But this time he wounds Li Shang, and Mulan has to save him. So his father comes to Mulan at night and is like, hey, I need you to save my son because he's not done living his best life yet. So she follows him to the underworld, and she finds Li Shang, and they have a whole mess of adventures, and this book was the most action-packed book I have ever read. If you are looking for action and adventure, definitely pick this book up. It is so good. And she hasn't even told Shang that she is who she is, so she is still Ping in this book. So you gotta read this. The next book is Part of Your World. It came out in 2018 as well, and it was written by Liz Braswell. This one is What If Ariel Never Defeated Ursula. Now this one is really good. This one I could not put down. Basically, the wedding happens from The Little Mermaid. The wedding happens and he's marrying Vanessa. So Ariel's voice is still gone. Triton is still in like fish form, but they all think he's dead, which makes sense because she hasn't seen her father in years. So now she is the voiceless queen of Atlantica. And she catches wind that her father is still alive, so she goes back up to the surface, turns herself into a human, and tries to find her father. This is a really good book. I don't want to give this one away either, but you gotta read it. If you are always wondering what if Ariel never defeated Ursula, read this. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Alright. This is the second book I read. This is called Mirror Mirror. It is written by Jen Calonita, which I probably pronounced that wrong again. And it was published last year in 2019. With this one, it's what if the evil queen poisoned the prince. This one doesn't happen right away. This one I barely remember, so I had to write down some notes here. So, Snow finds out new info about her parents and why they're dead and gone, whatnot. And so the evil queen still plots to have her heart ripped out by the huntsman, blah blah blah. He sends her away, blah blah blah, and the story continues. So she ends up with the 7 dwarves, and then she ends up finding the prince, and then she ends up finding a stranger from her past, and then they try and go and defeat the queen, but instead the queen poisons the prince. This one is not as climactic as the others. So, it's definitely, if you like Snow White, definitely read it. I don't see it as a what if, I see it as a different take on it because it's still very similar to the story itself. So that's Mirror Mirror. The next book is Conceal Don't Feel by Jen Kalanita. It was also written in 2019. And the plot line for this one is, what if Anna and Elsa never knew each other? Elsa is the only princess of Arendelle, and she is trying to figure out why she's having all of these flashbacks after her parents have died. So she goes on a journey to undo the curse that was had on her and find the lost princess of Arendelle, which we all obviously know is Anna before we even pick up the book. So this was a really, really good book. It was definitely different, but, and look, it wasn't really that thick. This was only, I think it was 300 pages, and the other ones are 400 to 500. So this one's gonna be your easy, light read. This next book is my favorite. And I'm not biased because it's my favorite Disney story, or my favorite book in general. This is Straight Onto Morning. This is written by Liz Braswell, and it came out in the beginning of this year in February. And it is basically, what if Wendy first traveled to Neverland with Captain Hook? Now, this is a good book, and I really don't want to give away anything about this book because I really want you to read it, and it is a really good, twisted, dark classic. Oh. But anyway, Wendy is 16 and she's had Peter's shadow for 4 years at this point, and he has never showed up to get it. So she calls Captain Hook to come get her and trades his shadow, obviously, for a ticket to Neverland. Happens. She ends up in Neverland, and then she is facing a whole bunch of badness. A whole bunch of like problems, and she has to pair up with Tinkerbell, and they have to try and find Peter, and Captain Hook has this evil plan to do something to Neverland, and so they have to save Neverland and find Peter. So just read this. Just read this one. This is just gonna be a video of me saying just read it. I don't want to give anything away. Come on. Alright, and this last one. This one was really good too, and I really don't like this Disney movie. This is Love. And this was written by Elizabeth Lim, and this came out in April of this year, of 2020. It's What If Cinderella Never Tried on the Glass Slipper? So we all remember in the part of the movie where the evil stepmother locks Cinderella in her tower and the girls try on the shoe, and then she escapes and runs down, gets the shoe, tries it on, happily ever after. That's not the case. She is still locked in there. Her stepmother sells her, she escapes, and she ends up being a maid in the Princess Castle for his aunt who is visiting, and then there is a conspiracy going on that she overhears, and she's got to try and figure out how to stop it, and also trying to get the prince to remember her. And there's also something going on with the banishment of fairies, which includes their fairy godmother, so she has to try and get that fixed too. So this one was another really good what if. All of these books are like super duper good. Like, I can't even. So this next book is Unbirthday, and it is written by Liz Braswell, and it also just came out. By the time I am uploading this video, I have read it, but as I'm filming it, I have not read it. So I will leave my review down in the comments. But this one is What If Wonderland Was in Peril and Alice Was Very, Very Late. So here is the synopsis of the book, because girl don't have it in her possession yet, and I will tomorrow. So there's that. Alice is different than other 18-year-old ladies in Kexford, which is perfectly fine with her. She'd rather spend golden afternoons with her trusty camera or in her Aunt Vivian's lively salon. ignoring her sister's wishes, that she stop all that nonsense and become a responsible member of society. Alice is happy to meander to Mrs. Yao's tea shop, or to visit the children playing in the square. She's also interested in learning more about the young lawyer she met there, but just because she's curious, of course, not because he was sweet and charming. But when Alice develops photographs she has recently taken about town, familiar faces of old suddenly appear in the place of their actual subjects: the Queen of Hearts, the Mad Hatter, the Caterpillar. There's something eerily off about them, even for Wonderland creatures. And as Alice develops a self-portrait, she finds the most disturbing image of all: a badly injured, dark-haired girl asking for Alice's help. Marianne. Returning to the place of nonsense from her childhood, Alice finds herself on a mission to stop the Queen of Hearts' tyrannical rule and to find her place in both worlds. But will she be able to do so before the end of time? I'm excited to read this one. Just because all the other ones were so good, except for A Whole New World, the other ones were so good and very well written that I am very excited. My video cut off. I am very, very excited to read this one, especially with all of the other ones. And it's a Liz Braswell, and hers are really good. So that is on birthday. And then the next one that isn't even published yet, the cover is not even official yet, is this one. And it is Go the Distance. As you can tell, it is based off of Hercules. And it is written by Jen Kalanita, and it comes out April of 2021. And this tagline is, "What if Meg had to become a god?" So here is this one. After Hercules proves he's a true hero and regains his godship, all seems right in the world. That is, until Zeus tells Meg that she can't be with Hercules because she's, well, mortal. Luckily, Hera has a solution, offering Meg a chance to prove herself worthy of a spot on Mount Olympus as a god. All Meg has to do is complete a mysterious quest. The mission? Oh, just to rescue her ex's current wife from the underworld. The ex-boyfriend she saved by selling her soul to Hades. The ex-boyfriend who immediately moved on to someone else while she was stuck in the underworld. Who can Meg put her past... Can Meg put her past behind her and use her quick wit to defeat monsters and gods alike, including the nefarious Hades? Nefarious? Sure. Will she finally be able to... no. Will she finally figure out her place and contribution to the world? Or will her fear of commitment have her running away from an eternity of godhood with Herc? That one actually sounds really good. And I'm very excited to read the ones that haven't come out yet. So let me know down in the comments which book you are interested in reading. Mom, I have them all, so you can read them. But yes, let me know which one you are excited to read and which one you think they should do next. I honestly think they should do a Merida one. Not quite sure how it would go, but I kind of want to figure out what if she never went to see the witch and had those cookies, yeah, and that turned her mother into a bear. I want to know what happens then. Like, is Mordew gonna be even involved with the story? Like, does she bury someone? Does she not have her independence? Is she still the crazy kooky self-independent woman she is? I don't know. But that's the one I would be really excited to read. So hit that like button if you liked this kind of a video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos like this or anything else I decide to put on here. And don't forget to turn on the bell notifications, because that will tell you when I do post, because Girl's been on a hiatus for a while and I just made a surprising comeback out of nowhere. So there you go, and you'll never know when I'll come back again. So I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to remember to see the good and keep being brave. Bye guys.